Donkey Kong has never been afraid to cause a little chaos, but Donkey Kong Bananza takes that energy and dials it up to 11. Fast-paced and full of personality, it's a far departure from the platforming of the Donkey Kong Returns era. Bananza is a risk, taking the franchise away from its roots and leaning more into the Mario Odyssey spirit, with open-ended playground design and red faction levels of destruction. Coming off the back of Mario Kart World, Bananza is the first major IP entry from Nintendo on the latest hardware, and it shows. This is a big, ambitious swing for the franchise that's often played it safe in recent years. You can smash through buildings, send enemies flying across multi-layered levels, and leave a trail of banana-fueled mayhem in your wake. It's Nintendo's bold new console, and this feels like a bold new Donkey Kong to match. But with that shift comes risk. What's it like? Put on your best tie, grab a hard hat, and prepare to go bananas as we review Donkey Kong Bananza on Nintendo Switch. Donkey Kong Bananza opens up with DK living his best life as a miner on Ingot Isle. He's doing what he does best, smashing terrain and finding Banandium gems, a delicious banana-like crystal very similar to Mario Odyssey's moons. But things go south when Voidco arrives, which is a shady corporation led by a smug, evil president and his team of cronies. They steal all of the island's Banandium and they use it to power their machine, designed to reach the planet's core and activate something called the Banandium root. DK sets off to stop them, and he's not alone for long because he's soon joined by a mysterious rock creature who's quickly revealed to be Pauline. Together, the two set out to bring down Voidco and recover the stolen Banandium. The tone is silly and over the top right from the beginning, and Donkey Kong himself is more expressive than ever. And the cast is full of big personalities. There's also plenty of cameos and throwbacks sprinkled in through the story, which fans of the series will no doubt enjoy. It's lighthearted and chaotic in all the right ways, giving the adventure a strong sense of fun without ever taking itself too seriously. Gameplay in Donkey Kong Bananza sees you exploring layers and sub-layers of the planet, each forming a connected world filled with secrets. These stages are open-ended in design, encouraging exploration and experimentation over speed and precision. Rather than follow a set path, you're free to just carve your own by digging tunnels, tearing up terrain, or smashing obstacles apart in search of Banandium gems. The game leans into the destructible environments in a big way, because DK can now turf surf, throw chunks of the world at enemies, and even reshape parts of the landscape to overcome challenges. It gives the entire game a feeling of playful chaos, but never at the expense of structure. You'll also be able to uncover maps that will help guide you towards hidden paths and objectives, and NPCs that also offer hints that reward careful attention. Aside from the destruction, another major feature is the introduction of Bonanzas, temporary shape-shifting powers that expand DK's movement and utility. The zebra form will let you sprint across fragile terrain without breaking it, while the ostrich ability allows for long glides across wide gaps. Each form opens up new routes, and it helps in combat and also becomes vital during boss encounters. As you collect Banandium, you'll earn skill points for every 5 gems found, and these points can be used to upgrade DK's core abilities and Bonanza powers, letting you unlock things like stronger throws, faster digging, extending Bonanza durations, or entirely new movement options. It's a simple system, but it adds a really good sense of progression and rewards exploration just beyond collecting for completion's sake. Boss fights bring about their own energy, because while a few battles may feel more about the spectacle than the challenge, several late game encounters are surprisingly demanding of your skills. and their designs will push you to make full use of your abilities and bonanzas and offer a few smart twists that break from traditional attack patterns. Donkey Kong Bananza is easily the best looking game on the Switch 2 to date. From its vibrant lighting to its detailed animation work, everything feels handcrafted and full of life. DK and Pauline are especially well animated, with a level of expression that reminds me somewhat of Luigi's Mansion 3. Dialogue is used sparingly, with much of the emotional weight carried through the exaggerated movement, subtle gestures, and clever staging, and it works. Pauline does have plenty to say during key moments, but DK's reaction and body language do just as much to sell the story. The bond between the two characters grows naturally throughout the journey, especially in the optional rest areas where Pauline shares personal memories or just comments on recent events that have happened in-game. These quieter moments are smartly integrated to add depth to their dynamic without slowing the pace of the game. Standard enemies in Bonanza often come with a layered armour that you'll need to peel away before they go down. It adds a small extra wrinkle to combat that makes even basic encounters feel a bit more involved. And combat is very fun, especially when you send enemies crashing into each other, setting off a chain reaction of destruction. Bosses, on the other hand, are where the creativity of DK Bananza really shines. Each one has a unique design that often ties into the surrounding environment, whether it's a creature formed from volcanic rock or a bunch of mimic octopuses, or is it octopi, formed together into a giant rocktopus. They're fun to fight, but also great to look at, and they're packed with personality and built to surprise. The level design deserves just as much praise, because each layer of the planet adds its own atmosphere and visual style. From sunlit paradise zones to rusted out junk heaps, environments are packed with detail and are fun to explore, with clever landmarks and terrain features that make it easy to stay orientated even in the game's more sprawling areas. For the most part, Donkey Kong Bananza runs beautifully. The frame rate holds steady even during large-scale destruction or fast-paced traversal, and it keeps everything feeling responsive and smooth. Whether you're turf surfing across the terrain or smashing through entire chunks of the map, the game very rarely stumbles. That said, there are a few exceptions, and unfortunately, they just seem to happen at some of the game's key boss battles. In these moments, the frame rate drops noticeably, usually when the game is rapidly generating or removing large portions of the environment in real time, and it's understandable given the scale of what's happening on screen. But it's also disappointing to see performance take a hit during otherwise high impact moments. These dips aren't constant though, and you can probably just count them on one hand, but when they happen they do stand out. Outside of that, there may be a few minor hiccups or hitches, but nothing that meaningfully affects gameplay, because overall the performance is really solid, with just a few brief cracks in the armour that show up when the game is at its most ambitious. For my Kongs looking into accessibility, Donkey Kong Bananza offers a solid range of options. Players can toggle settings like camera shake, motion sensitivity, and remap their controllers when needed. There's also an assist mode, which offers a bit of extra help, similar to what's available in Mario Odyssey, making things a bit more forgiving for younger players or those new to platformers. A local co-op mode is also available, where one player controls Donkey Kong and the other plays as Pauline, and she can launch vocal attacks and interact with the environment. It's fun and accessible way to share the experience, and it works well for players of mixed skill levels. At $110 Australian, Bananza offers excellent value. My playthrough came through at around 20 hours, and that was with a fairly rushed approach. By the end, I'd collected 320 Banandium gens out of the 777 visible on the compendium, leaving a huge amount for me to find. For completionists, that could easily push the total playtime well past the 60 to 70 hour mark, and there's plenty of incentive to go back, and the structure of the game makes the return journey feel rewarding rather than repetitive. DK Bananza is exceptional fun and is one of the most memorable and enjoyable experiences I've had in a video game in a long time. It was a risk for Nintendo to move away from that familiar rhythm of the DK Country series, but it's one that pays off in spectacular fashion. What we get instead is a zany, over-the-top, utterly joyous adventure that showcases exactly what the Switch 2 is capable of, both technically and creatively. At the heart of Bonanza is more than just bananas and destruction. The bond between DK and Pauline becomes as central to the experience as the environments you're tearing apart. It's heartfelt and surprising, and it grounds the game emotionally in a way that I didn't really expect. Mechanically, it's an absolute blast to play. The core destruction gameplay feels outstanding and consistently satisfying across the campaign, and I was continually surprised with how rewarding it was to go off the beaten path in search of Bonandium gems. There's a strong sense of discovery layered into the chaos, and it makes for a game that's both mechanically thrilling and joyfully explorative. This isn't just a bold new direction for Donkey Kong, it's a bar-setting moment for the entire genre of platforming adventure games. Whether you're in for the spectacle, the secrets, or the story of an unlikely friendship, Donkey Kong Bonanza delivers, and I absolutely loved every minute of it. So, what's it like? Donkey Kong Bonanza is like Mario Odyssey, mixed with Red Faction. I award it a 98 out of 100. Donkey Kong Bonanza is a what's it like certified exceptional game. In the interest of full disclosure, a review copy was provided by Nintendo Australia, but this doesn't influence my score. Thanks so much for watching my video. If you liked it, the best way you can support What's It Like is by liking, subscribing, and sharing it with your friends. For more reviews, click on the thumbnails to the right, and for everything Nintendo, check out whatsitLike.com.au.